Good morning to you, Veronica, and the rest of the team over there. It's good to hear from you this morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. And it's just a day to Friday that will be. I'm personally looking forward to that to that Friday. TJ, there was this news that came in yesterday. The House of Reps indicted about 31 ministries. That's talking about the 2019-2020 Auditor General's report that indicted those people.
Well, it's not the first time that I would see the Public Accounts Committee making this kind of revelations. The most important thing is for the anti-graft agencies to follow through in recovering these monies, because one of the major issues again is even these public servants having to come and defend these unremitted or unaccounted for funds. I still have, we're still following the case with the Senate Public Accounts Committee where several invitations have been sent to the NNPC GMD to come and explain unremitted funds amounting to over 210 trillion naira. And, you know, the GMD has been giving excuses. It's either he's going for a retreat today or tomorrow the president is calling him. Okay, understandably so that maybe this money is, because it's from between 2017 to 2023, he might not have been in office by that time. But according to the lawmakers, they say government is a continuum. At least come and appear before us and give us explanation that you know. You can't just, 210 trillion naira cannot just go into the air and you expect us to keep quiet about it. And so have a lot of monies, you know, being, you know, missing from the public accounts with no explanation for it. I feel that, you know, public officers should remain accountable for funds or resources that are kept in their care.
Exactly. And in the case of that, the NNPC, I think the burden is on the National Assembly, that usually is the oversight. Now, if you pass a resolution and certain individuals refuse, you must understand that you have the power. Now, if you've not been able to exert your power, then probably along the line you have compromised in several ways. That is why you lack the willpower to carry out certain things. I don't think
so. I think they give them a very long stretch of rope to
this is public money from what year?
Warrant of arrest. They don't want to seem combative because, you know, the NNPC GMD has already alleged that he's been attacked unjustly. And, you know, this issue has keeps on coming to the fore all the time. So they give them a very long stretch of rope.
What will have happened if a court asks them to appear and you refuse to appear? Well, so what we're saying is that it's not about the House of Rep, it's not about the NNPC, GMD or whoever. It's about the laws of Nigeria. If the House of Representatives or the National Assembly says invites you and you refuse to go, there are sanctions. Exert your sanction. That is why Nigerians voted you in there. It's not your personal business. These are public funds.
Of course.
Now look at this one, and the burden is on the EFCC.
Yes.
Let's say, how far can the EFCC go? If truly they mean business, not just going about pursuing people, spraying naira. This is public money. 2019, 2020 General's report. Go after those people. The House have said, go after them. Let's see them go after them, so that Nigerians will have confidence in our anti-graft agency.
We'll definitely keep our eye on that.
Let's go. Let's give you what we have for you today. And good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on FCT Brief. Now, the House of Representatives has initiated a proposal to ban all civil and public servants from patronizing private schools and hospitals across the country. Supporters say the move will boost confidence and investment in public institutions, while critics warn of possible rights violations. The lawmakers argue that decades of neglect of public education and healthcare are largely due to the ruling elite abandoning these sectors for private alternatives. While public institutions struggle with poor funding, inadequate staffing, and failing infrastructure, their private counterparts continue to flourish, funded directly by public officials who have lost faith in the systems they oversee.
The proposed legislation, if passed, would force a significant shift in public policy and resource allocation, potentially raising the standard of public services nationwide. But the bill is already sparking intense debate over individual freedoms, with critics calling it unrealistic and coercive. As the proposal progresses through legislative scrutiny, Nigerians await with cautious optimism or growing concern over a bill that could redefine public accountability. It remains to be seen how the proposed policy will fare in the face of legal, ethical, and practical realities. For more on this development and the fresh conversation it has stirred, on how to rebuild confidence in Nigeria's public institution. Let's bring in the Honorable Member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Amobi Ogah, who is the Chairman, House Committee on HIV/AIDS, Tuberculosis, and Malaria. It's good to have you in our studio this morning.
Nice to have you here.
You're welcome. Well, why ban public servants from using private schools and hospitals? Shouldn't the focus be on fixing the structures in these public institutions to make them more attractive, to people to come and use, instead of banning civil servants?
Yeah, the truth is that the public servant and the civil servant have lost focus.
Okay.
That is the truth. Being a committee chairman on one of the health committees within these 2 years, this is one thing I have realized. They have lost focus. And also people have also, the public trust is no more there, okay? And it's not just banning only private schools in Nigeria, also abroad.
Oh, good.
Also abroad, okay? Except those that have their immediate families are residing there before the appointment, okay? It's not just within Nigeria, because the truth of the matter is that, you see, public servants, civil servants have made public service as a source to make money, okay, and better the life of their immediate family. See, one of the major reasons for me, I said, if we build hospitals for the common man in the street, on the street, we build hospitals for our electorate. So why do we build hospital we don't attend? We are not being sincere to ourselves. Okay, we are black people, and for you to correct certain issues, you need to be a bit coercive.
Well, Honorable, you agree with me that change begins with you. So
yes.
I would like to ask you, how many of your children are in public schools or go to public hospitals where they are sick?
See,
at least it should start with you, since you're introducing
yes,
that bill.
It has to start with me, but that is why we have moratorium on the bill of 12 months. Okay? You see, for me, being a young man, even if the bill is being passed today, tomorrow, I have kids that will be in school in the next 15 years. So what it means is that it's my desire to see things work. Okay? Yes. It doesn't mean that today my children are already in public school. No, they're in private school. But it's my desire that these things will start working. Okay? Because it's not all about me. It's not all about you. It's about the common people outside there.
So you agree that the public institutions should be fixed first before actually considering a ban on
there must be that moratorium of 12 years.
To start.
Yeah, no, that 12 years is enough. If you say until, it can be 100 years.
Okay, Honorable, let's come to this. I remember this is not the first time we're having things like this. In 2012, according to record, the former Minister of Health, Onyebuchi Chukwu, let me quote one of the things he said. He said, "I'm preparing a memo which will soon be presented to the council to stop public officers from foreign medical treatments." Now, it didn't scale through. It was not implemented. I'm saying that in as much as your proposal, this bill, is what Nigeria really needs now. That's why, considering what just happened to a former president dying in a foreign hospital, do you think the political interests will allow this scale through at the end of the day?
Yes, I think it depends on the people. You see, we politicians, we are afraid of the people. Maybe you don't know. If people say this is what they want, okay, we will give it to them. The problem is that most times we leave things that should be our priorities to discuss what are not necessary. Okay, if electorate, I come from a constituency, and my people called me for a meeting and said, if you don't vote for this bill, don't come back home. I bet you this bill will go through. The problem is that the people need to stand. We don't have another country, whether we like it or not. A few days ago, it was our former president. Do you know the next person? How can we have a country where the elites, any little thing, they run to London, they run to America, they run to this, if not even secure for even them?
Now, also, in addition to ensuring that this bill works out at the end of the day, is it possible also, I don't know if it's part of your bill, is it possible also to take a look at various public institutions that we have voted public fund to invest in 1 year after, 2 years after, 3 years after, 4 years after, nothing to show for it, to call the various heads of those agencies to give account how the public money was spent? Because one way is you keep voting money, like she said, and at the end of the day, it will be spent wrongly, and we will never see it materialize.
Okay, you see, the truth of the matter is one of the reason why I came up with this bill. You see, in the area, the critical institution that we need to fix in the country is the health and the education. Exactly. Sir, if you get it right, things start working from there. Okay? And that is the essence of whatever we want to achieve. When people are well educated, when people have good health, okay, they will be more focused. They will be more patriotic in what they are doing. The truth of the matter is that, you see, public servants, civil servants, sees government as a means of getting wealth. How many, even the honorable members, how many of their families are in Nigeria? These are part of the reason you see our dollar, we can't have, the dollar will keep moving up and down. Because the education tourism, the medical tourism is increasing day by day. Imagine Nigerians sending their children to Cameroon, to Ghana. Is it not a shame?
Well, if you say that this is also to stop medical and education tourism, what about the private schools and the institutions that are here? You also agree that they also contribute to the GDP of the country, and these are businesses. We try to encourage local investments. Now, don't you think that this will send a wrong message to them on putting investments into Nigeria if this kind of ban is implemented?
Who are the owners of those private schools? 80% of them are politicians and civil servants. Because they have destroyed the public institutions. So they steal money and go and invest it there. You see, it's the right time we have to tell ourselves the truth. We know the truth. We are Nigerians. We are not imported from abroad. We need to allow things to start working. We don't have another country, whether we believe it or not. If we pack the whole money, you saw what happened the day they buried the former president. If you're a normal person, you should think that what is in this world? What is in this world? Why can't we make ourselves comfortable?
No, Honorable Ogah, this I think is a huge indictment on the system. That is, incidentally, you're also a part of the system. Because every now and then you see the National Assembly will pass a bill for establishment of private institutions and all that. Do we care to even ask questions from the promoters of these, how they got their money? Well, you know that some of them are serving public officers. Do we care to ask before we pass the establishment of these?
It's one of those issues we are still talking about. You see, if we don't do what we can do to maintain that public trust, okay, and ensure uncompromised standard and integrity of critical institutions, my brother, we are joking.
Okay, just hold your thoughts there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we quickly have to go on a break now, and when we come back, we'll stay here discussing with Honorable Amobi Ogah. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching FCT Brief, and we're still discussing the bill that intends to ban public servants from the use of private institutions. Well, you were saying something before we went on the break. Would you like to finish up with that?
Yeah, I think I'll finish on that.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move to another issue. One big issue that is driving people towards using these private institutions or abroad is brain drain. If this bill is eventually implemented, what structures are put in place to ensure that, qualified and professional hands are not, tempted to also move out of the country to give their services outside, and, we're left stranded?
You see, why is it, have you ever asked yourself, it's even people that went abroad to study, they will come back here looking for a job in an NPC, looking for a job in FIRS, looking for a job in local content, because they are well paid. Okay? Why is our doctors leaving shores of Nigeria? Because they are looking for greener pasture. They want more pay. Okay? See, if we fix these institutions and package good pay for them, what are you talking about? See, these things are easy. The issue is that we know our problem. The problem is that everybody will just want to grab money at the detriment of the common citizens.
Is this bill also going to address, how these professionals are being paid?
Of course. The moment, let me tell you, the moment conflict of interest is resolved, because what is causing all these things, there is conflict of interest by the public servant and civil servant. Once it's resolved, I put it to you, my brother, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm telling you, these things will be resolved.
Okay, let's take us back to, in 2019, there was a bill, the Public Officers International Medical Treatment Trips Regulation Bill. Where you're aware of this, where is it? Because I'm saying good intention, if this kind of move in time past, somehow along the line was buried within the system, those forces are still very much present. They can still bury it somehow. And are you carrying relevant NGOs along in preparing the document for this bill? You carry them along to get to this point?
That is what we're about to start. We not only the NGOs and CSOs, we are also going to engage labor unions. See, it's because it's for them. Okay? We are going to engage all necessary people we need to engage. Because, see, when we get these critical issues resolved, we will get a better Nigeria. I keep telling people, it's not the issue of tomorrow somebody said Tinubu is not doing well, you need this person. If you like, bring somebody from heaven. With the system we have, things will not work. That is why, for me, I'm against the coalition people. What are they coaliting? If you are aggrieved, you will say you are coaliting. It's time we tell ourselves the truth to resolve the matter of the country. It's no issue of who becomes president. The change must start from all of us. Here today, I'm in the National Assembly. What bill have I been able to bring up that will strengthen the system? This is where we should be looking at. We have focused, even as honorable members, more on constituency projects and leaving our core mandate to make laws that, you see, to make a good law, you must think. You must study. You must read. You must do research. But because of over-demand from our people, because some of them think we are governors, we are executives, they will call you to come and build road. They will call you to come and do this. It makes the members to lose focus. It's to make laws that will better the lives of our common people. So for me, change must start from every level. Whether you're an honorable member, whether you're a governor, whether you're a councillor, it must start from every level.
All right, Honorable Amobi, I hear that there's quite a number of resistance to this bill, and there are speculations that it may not sail through in the National Assembly. If this eventually happens, are you willing to withdraw this bill and, maybe look at it, revise it, impute all the concerns that have been raised and represented to the National Assembly?
Those that will reject it are those who will still go to benefit with public fund. Why would they reject it? Why would they reject it? In fact, even the Mr. President should even support us on this. I am telling you, at his age, what he cannot do for Nigeria, who will do it? If he cannot fix Nigerian hospitals, who will do it at his age? This is a bill, people's oriented bill. Any member who refuses to support this bill is an anti-people. This is something all of us should be able to gather together to see how we fix the system. If there is no conflict of interest, what are they going there to do? Even some of them that go for medical tourism die of loneliness. You see, when you're sick, you're waiting the shores of your place. You will see your friends will come around.
Well, you know, one of the duties of the National Assembly is also to carry out oversight. In the last budget, we saw the health budget for the health sector increase. What level of oversight, especially from your committee, has been done to, you know, ensure that these monies are pumped into the right sector so that we can see a change in the health sector?
Okay, let me start from my committee. Before I came in as chair of the committee of ATM, I can tell you that nothing much was appropriated for that ATM. But thank God, the fear of Trump have begun to reshape us on that area. Even the federal government appropriated about $200 million for ATM. ATM means HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria control under the PMI. Okay, so you know, 2025 appropriation bill is already passed, but implementation has not started. But before now, we have been doing a lot, okay? Because it was shameful to mention even on this studio that in 2024, if I tell you how much that was appropriated for malaria, you'll be shocked, okay? You see, because we over-depend on these partners. We over-depend on these aids, okay? And let me tell us, there's nothing goes for nothing. There's nothing really that is free when you call it AIDS. Okay? There is a help from another nation. There's something they are also looking for. It's time for us to look inwards. We need to look inwards. There is need for domestic funding for these critical issues. You see, these are part of the reasons why I am coming up with this bill. Because of that conflict of interest. Issue loss of public interest. That is what is the cause of all these things. Every year you see the same line of budget. Computer, textbook, the same thing.
Now, with all these concerns you're raising, it's the leadership of the National Assembly that's disturbed. And the reason I'm saying it also is that if you take into cognizance the death of the former president in a foreign land, as an alternative, if this is not passed, if it is killed, would you advocate for proper oversight? Because for most Nigerians, the National Assembly is not doing enough oversight. I mean, in sanctioning those who are really culpable. We're talking about ministries, departments, or agencies. Let's look at the health sector. Would you advocate for serious sanction for monies voted and were not used for the purposes?
See, when you see, we are Nigerians, we are black people. Even if you say proper oversight, what we are doing now is proper oversight. But there must be, you must tighten your belt, okay, very well, for you to fix certain things. If you don't pass this kind of bill to strengthen the institution, to maintain public trust, to reduce that conflict of interest, when you talk about even oversight, is it oversight when even the agencies, we see, let me tell you, we need to fix this country. I have to be sincere to you. We need to fix this, whether we like it or not. If you don't, in nearest future, we will regret. All of us will regret it. So this bill is essential. Even if they have, anybody have the plan or members, they won't support this bill. Like I have said, let's take it to public opinion. Let the electorate decide on it. If they truly want us to fix the country. See, if we don't achieve on this, I'm not, even if it's not being passed today, one day it will be passed. The issue of a reserved seat for women, it has been coming on almost every 4 years. But I'm seeing light of the day today because I'm part of sponsors of that bill. I have daughters that believe in themselves, that may want to be part in shaping the country. Why will you deny them that?
But Honorable, aren't you concerned that this may also infringe on the constitutional rights of people to make their own choices? Because everyone is free to, move or participate in whatever or take services from whichever institution.
Did anybody force you to come and take a public office? Did anybody force you to come and become a civil servant?
But does that stop them from being Nigerian?
No, the other jobs. You talk about right. Stealing people's public fund, is it right? Is it your right to steal public funds?
So are you saying that all public officers steal public funds?
I'm not saying all. But because of what you're saying in the system is very bad. The system is very, we can't hide on issue of human rights. There are certain things you need to get right.
All right, final question, sorry, before I let you go. Very soon, the President will present a new budget to the National Assembly for 2025 or 2026.
No, we are past 2025.
2026. Well, lawmakers, are they making any effort to approach the executive to say, okay, increase the budget for the health sector as to, improving our structures so that bills like yours can sail through without any hitch?
You see, issue of increasing the health sector appropriation fund, yes, it's good, but it's not the solution. We have been increasing this money year after year. What is the result? What is the result now? For me to come up with this bill, is anti-bourgeois, but it's for the people. For me to come up with this, I have sat down. I said, in what way can we resolve this matter? And this is the only solution. If you ask me, if you like, appropriate the whole money meant for the nation for health, the same thing will continue. But if you're able to get this bill passed, I can say that it's not that you get 100%, but that conflict will reduce to 10%.
Okay, just do we have the space of time to go?
I think we can go for one more minute.
Okay. Let me just ask this quickly. I know that we're talking about rights of individuals. We also have to consider the rights of people. But also, I know it's also not out of place when you pick an appointment, for instance, and there are certain jobs you can't do. You can't be a CEO of a company and you get an appointment and remain as a CEO of the company. It's not an abuse of your right, I think so. It's also part of the system. Just saying that it's not out of place for somebody to say you cannot go abroad once you pick an appointment or you're elected.
It's not that you can't go abroad. You see, like in that bill, there are exemptions. Exemption in the sense that maybe you are residing abroad or you have your immediate family. Because when we talk about immediate family, is if I'm the one as public officer, my wife, my children, my brothers are not involved. Okay. My mother and my father, they are not involved. We are talking about immediate. If your family, immediate family, are residing there before the appointment,
okay,
they are exempted.
All right. Honorable Amobi Ogah, we have run out of time right now, but we definitely thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning and sharing your thoughts on your bill. We wish you well ahead.
And I stand with him on this.
Please, you have to.
That,
Because that is the only way.
Hitch free. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.